Anyway, next email.
This one is titled Girl Advice. Hey guys, long time listener, first time emailer. Lately you guys seem like the guys to ask for relationship advice, so I thought, why not give it a shot with general girl advice instead? Recently I've fallen for a cute coworker of mine, and am planning to attempt to win over her affections.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I've developed a reputation of being the quiet and shy one, especially around her. I just can't seem to talk to her without stumbling over my words and awkwardly being silent, though lately I have been gaining more confidence. It's been a while since I've been attracted to anyone like this, so I'm asking you guys, what is your general approach for talking to girls that you already know? Any tips for me? Thanks, I love the show, and all you guys are great.
Oh, I haven't been there in a long time.
I was going to say, I've been out of the game for years.
But I remember that feeling, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool to remember that, but man, it's been a long time, because I've been, like, my confidence with women is fine now, because I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah,
I don't have to worry about that anymore.
I mean, mine is just genuinely bad, so I can't give this guy advice.
Well, you've been in situations like this recently.
I have, definitely.
What I'd recommend is, so my initial deal, like it used to be the case, is like, if I thought a girl was attractive, I'd try to hit on her subtly. I believe my opening line, which I probably said this on the show before, was I would compliment the woman on her shoes, because women like that. Guys don't more normally notice what kind of shoes they're wearing. And then when she's like, "Oh, thank you," you would say back, "Yeah, I have a pair just like those, and I was going to wear them tonight. I'm glad I didn't, because that would have been really embarrassing." And it shows that you're a little bit funny as well. And they're like, "Oh, I like this guy."
And then you're like, "Trust me, I'm going to open every week of your life with a joke like that."
Yeah. So, when that goes poorly, like it did when I first met my now wife, what I would do is like go into hiding. Like if it goes bad on initial approach, like don't talk to him for like 2 months.
Jesus. And then like that's how long you take to circle back?
Yeah. You put a pin in it, walk away for a while,
Dude, no,
let them hopefully forget, and you try again.
It's 2016. Okay.
Do you make the same joke again?
Yeah.
No, now Maxwell actually goes and buys those shoes.
How embarrassing. We actually
I feel like now you have the easy out where you can just like whip it out, and if she's interested, you're in. And if not, you're like, I'm just doing it for Harambe.
I own a tie-dye Harambe shirt.
Maybe don't wear that. Just ask him out.
Maybe I'm single for a reason.
It's not very hard.
What was I going to say? Like I said, it's because obviously I've been in the same relationship for almost a decade now. And with her, it was just a case of, because we just hit it off, and I guess it's really just a case of be you. And I know it's hard to think about.
Hey,
okay.
JJ.
What now?
Enough with the inspirational quotes.
No, okay. This is what I was going to say, because I when I was younger, I got really nervous around women. I got really nervous around girls, and it was because I couldn't wrap my head around this idea that women are also people. And I know that's a weird way to put it, but
oh my god,
I think Ann Coulter feels that way too.
But like, the same. Like, for example, on a much smaller scale, one thing that's been really fascinating to me has been my daughter's adventures in elementary school right now. And when I drop her off every morning, there's this little boy that runs up to her, and he's always super nervous, and he just comes up and he's like, "Hi, Veda." And Veda just kind of looks back at him like, "Hey." And how's it going? How's your day? Blah, blah, blah. And it just kind of leaves, right? And so when I ask her about him, I'm like, what about that boy that always talks to you every day? And she's like, oh, yeah, that's my friend. But, like, I can clearly see as an observer that this boy really likes you. But to you, you're just like, oh, yeah, that's my friend. He's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's like so strange.
She's already
familiar.
Right. And so, like, observing this, it's fascinating to me as her dad looking at this as you have no clue. This is just another person to you.
Mm-hmm.
But to this other person, he looks
you're like
at
the
you
highlight
like,
of that kid's day.
yeah, you're like the highlight of this kid's day. He has no idea what to do around you. He has no idea how to approach you. He's really nervous, but he's trying. But he doesn't even grasp the fact that at the end of the day, you're a kid who also likes to play with toys and watch wrestling and cartoons. And I guess that's the point I'm making, is that you're nervous around her because I think you may not appreciate the fact that...
The pussy on a pedestal.
But, I mean, in a sense that it's kind of what we do, though, without kind of taking appreciation of the fact that she is also just a person who has interests, and find out what those are. And if you relate to those, conversation between two people, especially about a common interest, is not any different. I mean, not a whole lot different between two guys as it is between a guy and somebody that you're interested in. That's my advice.
And don't wait, because then you're her friend forever. Like, if there's a certain relationship you want to have, you have to fucking do it.
Definitely get it. Don't
you
be
have
a friend
to.
zone.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest advice that I have is like
Like,
you're way
people
better off to pull the
complain-
trigger way too quickly with relationship stuff.
People complain
Like,
about getting friend zoned, but it's like that's the vibe you were giving off for a long time.
Yep.
So you formed the relationship that you were putting off. Like,
and
that's what happens.
And like, I feel like you end up with better relationships if you get into them quicker than you should. Like, I know that sounds insane.
No, I agree with
you
that.
also have better
I
sex
think
that way.
No, absolutely. Look at Paige and Del Rio.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to
Each
agree
have
with
to.
that. Thinking about my own marriage and the fact that
Same here.
my wife and I, my last major relationship, which also existed in the span of this show, was this girl that I had known since high school. And I had been trying for a long time, and pretty much since freshman year. She didn't really give me a shot till like right after we graduated. We were together for like 2 years. And it didn't really work out all that well. My wife and I, on the other hand, had maybe known each other before we started dating a month and a half.
Yep.
And we just jumped into it. And we've been together since, and there's not an issue in our marriage 7 years later. And no, we're just happy. It's the best relationship I've ever been in. And yeah, we just jumped into it pretty quickly and haven't looked back. And that's where we've been.
Because you get to know each other then as partners and not as like friends, which is a different way to get to know somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get to do all of that exploratory as partners, and I think that's important. People have turned friends into relationships, and that can work out fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But there is something to be said for just start as a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, me and my current partner, we met on a Tuesday and we're dating by Friday. So like all of those early conversations getting to know somebody are being done with that in mind, of knowing that you're trying to see if this is a match.
Christina and I had hung out together twice before we were Facebook of Fish. Like that's
all right, but don't do that,
quick.
people.
No, like I mean like no,
No, I'm just
not like
teasing.
in a non-group setting. Like it was fast, but I think also like if you go into it quickly, you kind of are like, oh, like this happened really fast. But then you're also like, okay, but like if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, because you're not going through that phase of over the top admiration where you think that this is like the greatest thing that's ever happened to you. You're kind of just like, okay, like let's just see where this goes. And as a result, you end up showing more of your true self. I found.
If you wait, you're going to keep thinking like, oh, this person's perfect. This person's too good. This person's like, just find out who they really are for real, which you'll only find out by asking them out.
How did the official conversation take place with you guys? Or did
Me?
it? was there a conversation where like, are we official?
Yeah. We were actually watching the movie Fight Club in my dorm room.
One of Maxwell's two favorite movies of all time.
Two of my favorite movies of all time.
Learned that about him in
the
Chicago.
Original Willy Wonka. Yep.
Gene Wilder died right as he said that.
Yep. And I was gonna bring it up after the movie, but basically midway through the movie, just the vibe I was getting, I was like, all right, I feel like she's gonna want to go ahead with it. So I was like really excited, and I was like, fuck it, I'm pausing the movie. So I paused the movie. I was like, I need to talk to you. And then we like had the conversation. We're like, all right, let's like not watch the rest of this movie and do other things. And it was great.
Huh.
Congrats on the sex.
You know, with my wife, it was funny because it was one of those things where we had been pretty much joined at the hip. Like we were just hanging out all the time, and like I would pick up my phone to see, you know, I was bored and I wanted to hang out with somebody, and my first instinct was just text her and call her. And one day we walked into a GameStop where I used to work, and I was visiting a friend, and we were talking, and then the friend goes, hey, is this your girlfriend? And we had, and I looked up and I looked over at her and I said, yes. And she smiled. And that was like we're official kind of thing.
That's nice. That's cute.
Yeah.
It could have been disastrous.
Oh yeah. Or we could have gotten in the car
adorable.
after that and she's like, you're what? We haven't talked about that at all. But no, I think she had been wanting to have that conversation, but like didn't want to.
This gave you a reason to have it.
Yeah. But the thing is, there was no conversation after that. It was just basically like, well, he's obviously willing to tell his friends that that's what this is. So that's where we are. That was a fun email. Next one.
So much fun.